Okay, 18 turns till philosophy. That is fine. Let's move our warriors back now. We're only 1 turn away from being able to finish our shrine, which is good. Okay. So we've kind of done on exploring for now. There are other city-states, I'm sure, here that we need to find. But at this early game, it's good that we don't get destroyed by barbarians too early on. Okay, the warrior is here. Wonderful. But so we've got a shrine. Hopefully we'll be going to get a pantheon relatively early. I think the first pantheon has already been taken. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We might be able to get a good gold pantheon, or I'll show you later. There's another one that we can look at getting. Only 8 turns till a settler, actually. It is quite tempting. It is quite tempting to sort of spam a settler early before we get the worker, but no, we need our worker first, I think. Otherwise, we're going to be too low on happiness. Let's do that. Okay. So in the early game, I'm going to neglect building warriors in order to build spearmen instead, or immortals. So I've moved my warrior in, I'm attacking here again, and then my warrior can finish off. Like so. Very good. Is it going to let me finish? There we go. So for whatever reason, my laptop is pretty slow on recognising when turns are over. But there we go. The Congo wants a great musician in turn 33. That's pretty amazing, actually. That's pretty quick. Okie dokie. So you can see here that we've actually picked up a 3rd wheat tile, which is pretty handy. We're going to get great early game growth in our capital. So much so that it's almost worth sticking ourselves on food production. You can see here that we do lose 3 hammers, but we gain 3 food. So, and at this really early stage in the game, there's no point accumulating too much gold. Especially as we're getting liberty, we don't need to instantly buy settlers. So I'm just going to keep my capital on food focus just for a little bit. We're going to get these guys to heal up. And then I might start just... yeah, I'm going to keep my warriors nearby. A good thing about going for tradition is we've got 7 culture. So we're going to pick up land very quickly around our capital, which is really handy. I mean, you can see England's only gone for 3 extra tiles so far. And we've picked up, what, 1, 2, 3... 4, 5, 6. We've got twice as much land. Japan has only picked up the 1. So that'll help us a lot, actually. 6, though. 6 food. I mean, jungles it's quite a good start to have a jungle start. But they're going to be limited on how quickly they can grow. Only 3 for London. So I think by going for some early game growth, it'll be good, because we can use the population to sort of move back to production later once we start to build those. Once we start to build the what do you call it? Settlers, we've got more citizens to work production. Now Congo wants us to kill oh my god, words, this encampment. But we've only got the 1 warrior, and we're going to have a worker running around at the moment, so we don't really want him to be taken. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work one of the mines, and then I'm going to work the wheats immediately afterwards. The wheat seems to be the priority for me anyway. Now let's see how warlike Japan and England are going to get. So Japan already covets my lands, and so Japan is probably going to be the most aggressive out of the 2. So we'll deal with them as we get to it. So my workers are going to move to here. Unmet player has entered the classical age. That's fine. So we've got 1 worker. We're going to get a 2nd worker by completing the Liberty tree once we go to citizenship. But that's going to be a few turns away. So really, we should probably think about building another. We are 10 turns away from philosophy, which means we could finish a settler if we wanted to. No, let's build another worker for now. This extra food will help us a lot, I think. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it, I promise. Okay. Worker, you build your mine. 6 turns, wow. I forget, I play Liberty so often that I forget how slowly workers actually do anything. If you don't have citizenship or the pyramids. There we go. Okay, a pop 6 capital. Now this is to show you how weird my other game went. By the time I got to 0 BC on my practice run, I still only had a population 7 capital, so it really was I'd focused so much on early game army, and I needed an army to take Genghis Khan. As other players know, Genghis Khan really does whip up quite a lot of cavalry, which is good. Cavalry are good to take on with Immortals. Obviously they're spearmen, they get bonuses against them, but it was still a tough ask nonetheless. So they've already gone to the classical era, that's fine. Japan, and we have got our next settler. Woohoo! That's awesome. Right, so we let's move our settler over to get to the dies. We're gonna just sort of move our warriors in order to escort the settlers. The workers obviously do need protecting, and I'm aware that there's a barbarian camp very close, but if the settlers get lost, that'll be worse for us than if the workers got lost at this stage. Now, okay, the warriors can move to here. I think we're gonna be fairly good anyway in terms of safety. Now it's only 4 tiles away, this dies, but again we're gonna go Liberty. Our cities aren't gonna be the biggest, so if there's a little bit of cross working, then that's fine. You can see here, England have built York up here. The game still thinks we can build a city there. That's fine. Never mind. So I imagine that means England have gone pretty early. Oh no, they've got quite a low population. Normally if they go for such an early settle, it means they've gone Liberty. But London's population is so low, then possibly they have gone tradition or honour. Let's have a look. Piety. Elizabeth have gone piety. Now that's good. We're going to keep Elizabeth alive for longer. We're going to let her get a reformed religion, and then we're going to steal that reformed religion later. So we're not going to be working a religion ourselves. That is great. That's really, really good, actually. Honour. I think Japan are going to be our first target. They already covet our lands, and by going honour, we don't want to let them too late into the game with a really heavy army. They are going to be a nightmare to kill, especially with their unique ability. Okay, so we can form a pantheon. Now you can see here that we've got 2 gold mines and 3 wheats. So what I might do is, we don't want to particularly getting a pantheon that is we want to hold on to until the last stages of the game. God, words this morning I'm really struggling with. Chances are England's religion, especially if it's got a piety reformation belief, it's going to wipe our religion out unless we really go into it. And with Persia, we're not particularly fussed. So, we may as well get something that gives us a nice early game bonus. Now, what constitutes an early game bonus? Having a higher growth rate, maybe? But this is sort of fertility rights, that's the sort of one that we'd want to spread amongst our cities, and unless we get a good religion, that might be tricky. So really, a bonus that benefits just our capital would be best. You can see here, Sun God, food for each banana, citrus, or wheat. Now, we've got 3 wheat, so that would give us 3 extra food, which would give us some pretty sweet food tiles for our capital. That's one option. I think, where's the gold and silver? +1 culture and +1 faith for having gold and silver. So that would give us 2 culture and 2 faith if those tiles are being worked. The culture would come in handy for those early game bonuses, thinking about it, and we do have extra gold tiles that we could pick up. There's a 3rd one here, if you see. So that is an option. That is an option. So it's either going to be between those two, whether we go for the extra culture and faith or the extra food, I think. I am tempted, in order to build things like the National College nice and quickly, we are going to go for the extra food. I think having extra population is going to be better than having extra culture and faith. We will see if that works out later in the game, but let's go for that. So, for extra food, sun god, wonderful. These tiles are now giving us 4, do you see? That's really, really handy. Brilliant. Okay, now, these workers, they have finished getting this gold mine. Let's just quickly build up our extra city. Now, the reason I'm renaming this, so Persiopolis, that's how I wanted to say it, but there's no U, there's no O before the P. So it's not Persiopolis, it's sort of Persepolis. Persepolis? Oh, I just, it's going to annoy me trying to pronounce that all the way through the game. So let's just see what we've got. We're in a forest, we've got a mountain, we've got some deer, lots of deer near us. So let's call this Mount Deer Park. Mount Deer Park. It's kind of 3 things. It doesn't really flow. Let's call it just the Deer Reserve. Yeah. Wonderful. It's going to be a place of beauty. A place of peace, I promise. Maybe. The first thing we're going to build is that library. Having an extra monument would be handy, especially on the early game culture, but I'm going to get the library as quickly as I can. How much does a library cost? 400 gold. No, it's ages away. Because we want to be getting that National College as quickly as we can. So we'll... Is it worth going for 2? No, actually, what I might do is I may build my next city on this gold tile here, actually. Oh, no, for this tile here, this forest and plains. It's going to give us extra production, which is good. But the library will be able to be built pretty quickly here compared to in the Deer Reserve, so that's fine. Okay, as I'm going to go for a 3-city start. Let's stick to my guns on a 3-city start. We're going to need the extra happiness, though. You can see we've got dyes, which is great. The furs are going to be handy. So let's go for the furs quickly, and then we'll build an extra farm on our wheat fields. And then warrior is going to move back down. This barbarian encampment is our biggest priority of possibly going to kill. We're going to settle what lands we please, Japan. Just don't go there. Don't go there.